Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, if you saw the title, I will be reviewing my iPad Air. This is the refurbished iPad Air M2. I've had this for about 3 months now. I got this in the color Space Gray and I've been loving it. I've been using it almost every single day now, so I just wanted to make a review video for anyone who's interested in purchasing it, for anyone who loves watching tech review videos. And I just want to say a little disclaimer, I'm not a tech expert. I'm not even that tech savvy. I mostly just bought this for productivity purposes. I always think that anyone who has an iPad, it just looks like they have their life together, so I bought one. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what impressed me, what hasn't, and whether buying a refurbished iPad is actually worth it in 2026. So if you're interested, keep watching in this video and let's get into it. So first, let's talk about why I bought this. I was actually between the iPad Pro and the new Air M2. This one actually came out in 2024 and I bought this towards the end of 2025, but I just couldn't justify the price jump for what I would need it for. So I would be using it for journaling, for editing video content. I have my Etsy store with digital products, so I want to be using it for that, and it's actually been really helpful for that. So that is my main reasoning for buying the iPad. And I also want to use it for reading light research papers. This is when a lot of people that I talked to told me about the refurbished section on Apple's website. I've actually never bought anything refurbished from there before, but if you check out the refurbished section on the Apple store, there's actually a lot of products there, and it comes with the same warranty, the same performance, but it was about $150 cheaper to get the refurbished version versus a new iPad. So this is what I opted for. And to be honest, I was a little skeptical because I've never not bought something brand new that's electronic, or I've just never bought anything refurbished in my life, especially with electronics. I'm also not the most tech savvy person, and I probably wouldn't know if something was wrong until it was too late. So I was a little skeptical about that, but when it arrived, it was brand new. The box does say that it's refurbished. So let me show you guys the box. This is the iPad Air box, and then here you can see it says refurbished. It says Apple certified refurbished. So when I did my research, it did say that Apple takes in the iPad and it actually replaces the battery and the outer shell. So it looks like you're getting a completely brand new product. So there weren't any marks on it. It didn't look like it's been used before. And the experience genuinely felt like I was unboxing any new Apple product. So next up, I want to talk about the design and the build. So I got this in Space Gray, mostly because my MacBook Air is also Space Gray. I just thought that made sense. It is very sleek. It's really light, and I like how it looks very minimal. It's very timeless. I bought my MacBook Air in 2022, I think, and I would say this is incredibly light as well. So I actually don't notice this when I transport it anywhere with my MacBook Air, and with the rest of my devices, it's very light. If anything, I would say my iPhone 14 Pro Max is heavier. This is very light, it's very minimal, it's very sleek, and it's great for morning journaling, when I'm taking it with me to cafes, when I go to the library, when I go to work. It's great. One thing I noticed about this is that it doesn't have Face ID, it just has Touch ID. So it is, you open it with your fingerprint here, and it's very responsive, it's very quick, and it works the same way. And I haven't really felt hassled by the Touch ID being there and not Face ID compared to my iPhone. So the pencil that I use isn't actually from Apple, it's from Amazon, but I would say that the magnet on it is very good. I've never had this slip out, and I always clip it on and then take it with me places. It's never fallen off. It's really good. So that's a little bit about the design and the build for the iPad. So next up, let's talk about performance. So the M2 chip is actually great for my day-to-day tasks like journaling. I use Canva. I'll do some light editing on here. I use GoodNotes a lot. That's where I do all my journaling. That's where I will use my digital products, and it works great. Everything's fast, everything runs smoothly on here. And I also use Pinterest on here a lot, so it's great. Multitasking actually feels really seamless on the iPad, and I do really feel like I have my life together when I'm using this. There's no lagging on the iPad Air. I've done multiple things at any one time and everything works. So in terms of performance, I don't have issues there. To be honest, if you're a creator or a student, or you're just someone who wants to use for productivity tools, I would highly recommend the iPad Air. I would say that it's more than enough, especially if you're just using it for note-taking and content planning. I could see myself keeping this for a few years, to be honest with you. And usually all my Apple products I've kept for at least 5 years, so I would say this is really good, and it does live up to that. I don't see myself replacing replacing this for a very long time, which I'm really happy about. So next up, I want to talk about how I use it. So I use my iPad Air almost every single day. I use it to create thumbnails on YouTube. I'll use it to read PDFs, so any articles that I need to read for work or just for fun, I'll use it for that. I use GoodNotes almost every single day for digital planning and journaling. I do have my digital products through Etsy, so I would use GoodNotes to actually use them and make sure everything is good. I also just use my journal pages every single day. I also just love using this to plan out my YouTube scripts, to write out my to-do list for the day. I really like using Canva on my iPad more than I like using it on my laptop because it feels like I'm actually hands-on designing something there. So I'll use it to design product markups for Etsy, and I like seeing it on the iPad because it feels like I can see what my customers are seeing before they purchase one of my digital products. And when I'm winding down, I really like watching movies and shows on my iPad. It's great, it's portable. I would say that it pretty much replaced my laptop for everything that I was doing for fun, so I really like that. So next up, I want to talk about the battery and the day-to-day. So the battery life has been pretty good. I would say it's a solid 9 to 10 hours, and it depends on the brightness and it depends on if I'm watching any videos on here. To be honest, I don't even charge this every single day. I'll charge it every other day because I'm not using it for the full day, so I really like that I don't have to charge it too often. It did come with its own charger, and I know a lot of Apple products are not coming with their own chargers these days, so that was really nice. I haven't traveled since I got this iPad, but I can see it holding up through a travel day, or it definitely does hold up for a full work session, especially if you're using it for light tasks. So I would say it's really good. It charges pretty fast. I would say that it takes about 2 hours to fully charge. And another thing I noticed is the display brightness and the color accuracy are pretty great as well, especially if you're trying to do creative work using your iPad. The Pro is 120 hertz and it's not to that level, but it's pretty good. It still feels really smooth. Okay, and now I want to talk about what I don't love, because I think it's so important to be transparent about electronics, especially if you're looking to spend money on something like this. It's not cheap. It's pretty much an investment, and I know a lot of students are looking to buy iPads, so I want to keep this as honest as possible. So one thing that I really don't like is the no Face ID option. If I'm half asleep and I have to use Touch ID, it is a little bit annoying. I have to reach over to wake it back up again, so that does get a little frustrating. The accessories actually add up. I would say the actual Apple Pencil itself, the Apple Pencil 2 and the keyboard, I think they're really expensive. I haven't purchased them myself, but I was just browsing through the Apple store and they're actually expensive, so if you're looking to buy everything, it does add up. And also the 60 hertz display, if you're used to ProMotion, you will notice the difference, but honestly that's about it. None of these are actual true deal breakers for me. It hasn't interrupted my workflow. Even the Touch ID, it's just one small thing that I wish I had. It's not something that is a total deal breaker. One more thing I want to talk about is buying refurbished. So is that something you should do? I did mention that this is my first time buying refurbished, and I would say that it was 100% worth it. This iPad was exactly $700, and that's Canadian dollars, by the way. It came in the Apple packaging. It felt like a brand new Apple product. It had a 1-year warranty and it was eligible for Apple Care. I'm a true believer in Apple Care. I think all Apple products, you should be adding Apple Care to it, because I'm not super tech savvy. If something happens with any of my devices, I've always ended up using Apple Care, so I would say that's something that you need to add. I would definitely buy refurbished again because it's a better way to get premium tech without actually paying the full price for it. So this was $700, and that is the total price that I paid for it. So in terms of my final thoughts, after 3 months of using this almost every single day, and I use it for my Etsy business, my digital products I've built out using my iPad. So I would give this a 9 out of 10. It's powerful, it's minimal, and it fits perfectly into my daily routine. If you're someone who loves journaling, who will use it for studying, or you're into content creation, and I would 100% recommend the refurbished iPad Air M2. I would say that this is a really smart buy for the price, and it's also certified Apple Refurbished, so it does come in the full packaging and you feel like you're buying something brand new from the Apple store. And I want everybody watching this video to understand that just because you're buying something refurbished doesn't mean that it's been compromised in any way. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. I hope that this video was helpful for someone. I am trying to make more tech review videos, especially for people who aren't tech savvy, I would say, because I'm not tech savvy, but I love learning about new technology. I love incorporating it into my day-to-day routine to make my life easier. And don't forget to subscribe, so I will see you in the next one. Bye.